2020 has been a difficult time for everybody, obviously. And then every person I've brought on so far, I've asked the same question, which is just how have you been creatively dealing with everything that's happened in 2020? Have you been feeling more inspired because there's not much other things to do? Have you felt an entire drainage? I mean, obviously, right now you're on a pretty good upload schedule. Have you been indulging more in other people's content? Have you been finding inspiration in places where you haven't usually? What's your general change of mindset been with this year
Whew.
on a creative level? I don't mean to
Yeah.
pry into your personal life or anything like that,
Oh
but
no, you're good. I think just because the creation process is such a an avid part of where my life is right now. I mean, you can even ask my roommates or my friends at work.
it is
It's
you right now. It is you.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
probably talk about like my video creation process more than anything else because it's just something that excites me.
of course.
And I will say that because 2020 was very difficult, it is very difficult. It continues to be, and it will continue to be. Uh, Finding happiness in that meant a lot. And I'll tell you what else helped was just connecting with people more. And I think I started to understand a deeper importance behind that. Um,
And you feel that you've been connecting with people more since everything started happening, like it somehow brought you closer to people.
Absolutely. And now it helps that like I'm just in a new environment now than I was as I had just moved into a new place uh last December. And so it was kind of like I had a couple of months to adjust, but then it was things started moving. Um but it was also I'm making more friends at work. I'm making friends online. Uh it's been incredible getting to know Cullen. He's another great content creator. I have to mention him. Is he's been having me on for streams and everything, and I'd consider him a good friend. And he
Eh,
and I have connected recently.
Every person
And
I bring on brings up at least that one like really close creative friend. Like I got to give a shout out to my boy, because
yeah,
ultimately, like your social life has such an impact on your creative drive as well. If I know whenever I'm socially like okay, socially responsive or whatnot, I find that my attitude towards creating becomes so much more enjoyable somehow because it all
yeah.
does kind of connect, and that's why you got to be worried about the kind of the problems we were talking about earlier about like being a workaholic or whatnot. You got to make sure you
Mhm.
separate time just for like friends and family and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, sorry, continue.
And it's like the year has definitely offered a lot of food for thought, and it's definitely recontextualized a lot of things that like I obviously knew it was important to connect with friends and to get to know people on a certain level. I know that one of the things going into the YouTube spectrum, especially once you start to pick up an audience and you start to connect with other creators, you start to look towards the creators that inspired you and be thinking to yourself is like, oh, what if I get to meet them one day or anything? Now that I've met a lot of them, it's like I'm not really on a best friend level with many. I have exchanged greetings with some call me Johnny on more than one occasion. Mostly, most of these people I've met through Magfest. Um, it's like I've gotten to talk to a couple of really cool creators, and then there will be people like Super Butterbuns, who I've been following for a long time, and she definitely helped kick off. As I think I was starting to get really into her content um, around the time I was first starting to try it myself. And she's this super cool person that's doing a lot of really funny videos and everything like that. And I is like she's a super talented person, and you're starting to look at these people that are like, oh, they're these almost like celebrities within this space, dude. Getting to know them is like the fact that I can call her a friend at this point means something to me on a deeper level than just, oh, hey, I'm friends with this really cool content creator I used to look up to. It's just like, no, like she's actually an incredible human being
Right.
that I'm really glad to have a part of my life. Same with Cullen, same with Shib, same with so many of these other people. Same with the guys I grew up with, like Trail Mix Blazer, who was doing some streaming for Among Us the other night. And it's like, it's not, and I said it earlier in the video, it's not about the numbers, it's about that sense of community.
Definitely.
And I think 2020 has definitely made that so much more apparent.
For sure.
It's like there's an importance that comes with, like, oh, you've got a platform that you can speak through now. I will say that there were definitely some events within this year that I should definitely hope got some eyes open towards. There's some people that we need to start paying more attention to. You know, there's definitely some communities that we've been neglecting.
Right.
And it's like, it's, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. There's so much
I
that's
think
happened.
I know what you're saying. With 2020, it really has been just a time of reflecting on what's being said and what actually needs to be said and what needs to be heard and whatnot. And as creators, I think it is inspiring. I think we have to kind of look at that. You know, we have to, because we now have the time to pay attention to that. We have to, right? So, and I think I understand where that kind of creative growth comes from, where it's just like, okay, what's actually important in what I do and what I say or whatnot, and let me focus specifically on that, as opposed to all this other noise that we've been subject to since before 2020. All that to say, I'm not trying to say 2020 has been an amazing year or anything like that, but for creators, it has been at the very least an opportunity for so many of us to really reflect on things and our creations and whatnot. Hey there, you just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode, you can support me over on Patreon, and if not, you can subscribe to check out more clips coming here soon.